Let's do it. We're here shooting a really cool effect. This is what it looks like. Hello, my beautifuls. Say hi to the camera. We're here with Pippi. You can do this on a phone. I'm gonna be showing you how to do it on a phone because this is, I think, definitely what most of you guys are gonna be using. You're gonna wanna be in 0.5 mode and we're just shooting 4K 30 FPS. All right, and the basic premise is we're making big movements in and out. And as we make those movements, we are twisting the camera. We're gonna try one on the camera and see how that goes at the end of this video, so stay tuned. So I'm gonna start low here, and I'm just gonna come in, try to keep her as center as possible and try and be as steady as possible. And near the end, I'm gonna try, look how beautiful you look. And now I'm gonna start twisting the other way and come down to a low angle. And then I'm gonna come back up and I'm gonna twist the other way and I'm gonna go to a high angle. I'm being so unsteady, so let's see how this goes. And I'm gonna actually twist and come around this way. And now we're gonna get a super high angle. And then we're gonna come back the other way and get a super low angle. There's Pippi. And then we're gonna come in and we're gonna move out kind of like we started and end the frame like that. He's put him in on the computer while I'm busy editing her in the video. Let's get to the fun part, the editing. Before we do that, just a quick note and something I'm realizing while I've been editing this. The camera movement and stability, my stability, only got better the more times we did it. So the take that you saw in the intro is actually from the third take that we did on the phone, which I think is a testament. Do this a couple times and I'm pretty sure you'll get a better result. I'm gonna be using CapCut Desktop today. I really like the speed ramp tab inside of CapCut Desktop, and the great thing is it's free. This is what the general speed ramp looks like. Obviously your timing is gonna be different based on your music. But this is the graph that we're going to be building from scratch. Let's go ahead and make a new timeline. This is the complete timeline. Let's make a new timeline, go back to home, new project, and I'm going to import my iPhone footage. Just going to reduce my sound, and I'm going to start the video as we start to move back here. So blade that, and let's see where we end. I go in and I go out, and I'm just going to blade that tail. That gives us an active moving video clip right here. And now we get immediately to the speed ramp. So if you click on your video and go to speed, you can go to curve and create a customized curve. You can see I've dragged my viewer kind of all the way to the left here. I would recommend that. So what I would like to do is start the video off slow, and then we're gonna add, by clicking the plus icon, add a speed ramp, which I'm just gonna drag up here. If you click in the center there, you can drag both of them up at the same time. So what this is gonna do is we're gonna speed in, and what I would like to do is start to slow down once we reach that end. So you can use your arrows to kind of see what that end frame is going to look like. And you can see right there is about the time that we start slowing down. So I'm going to add a keyframe there. I'm going to go a couple frames ahead and I'm going to add another keyframe. Something that you will run into if you do this is if I try and add a keyframe in there, it says spacing is too small. So you may just want to, increase the space a bit, and you can always tweak that later. Now for where we want to slow down, I'm going to drag that back to the base timeline, and in the bottom there you can see, if I just stay held on the keyframe, you can see our speed as we tweak it. So I want to make sure I'm not really going below 1, and then on this keyframe I'm going to bring it down as well. So what this does is it creates a portion of the video that's going to be slow. As we start speeding up again, I want to increase our speed, which means I'm going to add another keyframe and drag it up. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. That's starting to look really good. Right, so as we reach our end destination here, again, I'm gonna add a keyframe there. I think that's a little too far to the left, so I'm gonna drag it a bit there. I'm gonna add another keyframe. You can see I can't, so I need to tab a couple frames ahead, add a keyframe, and then drag that in. So I'm gonna add another keyframe there and drag it all the way to the top. There we go. That creates our moment of pause, and then we speed ramp. This could actually be dragged a little bit to the left and this one comes a little bit to the left as well. So I'm going to add in some more keyframes here. I think you get the general structure. Let's just add in the remaining keyframes and I'll show you exactly what that looks like once we're done. And there we go. There's the general structure. Again, just for clarity's sake, you have your speed ramp while the camera's moving. As you reach your final destination, you add your 2 keyframes for that hold. And then as you start moving again, you speed it up. So here you can see I start moving while we're still on the hold. So in theory, I would need to bring these left and bring this one left as well. That looks much better. Now, once we're done this, you're gonna add some motion blur. So in CapCut, motion blur is built into the effects panel. So stay selected on your video, scroll down and say motion blur. Now 100, I would recommend, you obviously test a couple different values. 100 is always a bit too much for me. So I'm gonna drag it down to 65. In theory, how motion blur works is wherever there's more motion, the more blur you get, right? So if we go to a portion where we're moving fast and I toggle that off, you'll see that our image is relatively sharp while the motion blur is off. And if we switch it on, it really exaggerates those corners and creates that cool kind of FPV effect. I would argue that 65 is actually too low. So if I was in your situation, I would crank that up to say 85 and see what that looks like. You can also go to your blend, turn that on and off. I don't really like how blend looks, but go to your direction, change it from forward to backward in both, and then change up your times. You can go twice, 4 times, and 6 times to exaggerate that effect even more. Really, the fun here is that you get to test different values of that motion blur. Lastly, if you want to enhance that FPV effect, go over to your effects, go to lens, and swipe down until you see wide angle. I'm going to go ahead and drag that directly onto the video. And this is really just going to exaggerate that lens. If you don't have a wide angle lens, I think in this case, even 0.5 on my iPhone was a bit too little. So I really get to increase or decrease those values and create more of that FPV effect. We can also click back onto the video. And if you go to video and basic under the effects tab, we can see that wide angle lens. So we can toggle that on and off. And I really think having it on creates this really exaggerated effect of everything but our subject. And again, I would crank that up to 100 because that creates an even cooler effect. Like look at it in this case, if we toggle it on and off, you can see that kind of everything is warped and it creates that wide angle effect. Some concluding points, like I said before, it really does help when you do this multiple times because I think I got better in my operation. But also I found new ways to shoot it and new angles that I thought worked well. So really, I would recommend doing this at least 3 times when you record to create the best result. And finally, as promised, we did do a couple different tries on the camera. There was no gimbal involved. This was just handheld with dynamic active stabilization applied. Here's what it looks like. I really think it did a great job, like a huge quality increase in our subject and what the image looks like. I just think obviously from a stabilization standpoint, it wasn't great. And I would have liked a bit of a wider angle lens, but definitely something that you can achieve on your camera. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video and I hope you have an incredible rest of your day. Cheers, guys.